Becca and the GeriActors for a virtual listening session of their newest audio play, Reading the Signs. For those of you who don't know, GeriActors is an intergenerational theater company. Their performance company, GeriActors and Friends, produces original plays based on true stories and issues of aging. Their new Audio Geris program is a collection of audio plays adapted from their original stage plays, bringing their stories to life in a new way and engaging listeners all across Canada. Now I'm going to hand it over to you, Becca. Welcome.
Sure. Thank you so much. I'm just going to share my screen. So bear with me for a few seconds while I get everything set up and working. Perfect. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Perfect. All right. Well, welcome everyone. As was mentioned, my name is Becca Barrington, and I am the Associate Director for GeriActors Theatre. Before we started, I just want to say a big thank you to Sage and Tori and Atron Lamington and the rest of the events committee for putting together such a great event. I trust that the rest of the Health and Wellness Forum has been a lot of fun, and you'll have a lot of fun at the sessions this afternoon. So as was mentioned, GeriActors is an intergenerational theater company. We're based here in Edmonton, and we actually rehearse at Sage now that we've moved back to in-person. And in today's session, we're going to learn a little bit more about GeriActors and our Audio Geris program and how that was inspired through COVID-19. We're going to listen to our latest audio play, Reading the Signs. It's about 15 minutes, and then we should have time at the end to chat more about the play and ask any questions about Audio Geris and the GeriActors. I always like to say I think being comfy and cozy is the most important thing, especially with all this snow outside. So feel free to grab a coffee, tea, find a comfortable place to sit and listen to the show. All right. So who are the GeriActors? GeriActors is an intergenerational theater company, and our performance group, the GeriActors and Friends, we bring together seniors and students from the University of Alberta in play development and performance. Currently, our performers range in age from 18 to 91, and that 91 number goes up every year when one of our members has a birthday. And what we find is that working intergenerationally, we generate new energy, brilliant ideas, lasting friendships, and all of our plays focus on aging rather than age, and they really celebrate our commonalities. We have more in common than we do different. And the way that GeriActors works is we use a playful approach to theater to create all of our plays. So we tell true stories, we talk about issues of aging, but we do that all through play. So we do it with play, laughter, improvisation games. We tell a lot of stories. We have lots of coffee breaks. We share ideas and we talk with one another. And then when we perform our plays, we continue to develop them through audience feedback and shared stories. So that's why we love to engage with audiences this way. We like to share our work, and we like to hear from everyone about what images came to mind. What thoughts and ideas? Do you have a similar experience? Do you have a story to share? And through that dialogue process, we develop all of our plays that what we hope bring together people in shared experiences. We promote authentic views on aging, and we seek to challenge stereotypes. So that is what we try and do with our plays. And every spring we perform throughout the greater Edmonton area for seniors, families, health professionals, students, and the general public. And we just, after 2 years on Zoom, are returning to in-person performances in May. So if you know of anyone who might want to have a performance, just get in contact with us because we love to perform all over. All right, so our Audio Geris program is new. It's brand new this year. And we made this discovery accidentally in COVID-19. COVID-19 forced us to go online in March 2020, and we've been online for about 2 years. And while we were rehearsing on Zoom, although it took a lot of time to adjust to performing through computer screens, being alone in our space, acting from just our shoulders up, all of those technical difficulties and time lags that I'm sure that everyone has experienced. We also made a lot of new discoveries. We were able to share aspects of our lives that we hadn't before. You know, people's pets came to rehearsals. We were able to share items in our homes, show people our backyard gardens, and really develop discussions and stories from new ideas and new objects that were in our immediate space. Another discovery was that one of our members moved to Regina. And so she said, I'll see you next week because I can still come online. And that was wonderful. And then for the first time, we were able to share our work with family and friends outside Edmonton. So throughout Canada, the US, the UK, Trinidad, and even Australia, which we had never been able to do before. And that inspired Audio Jerry's. We sort of thought, what if we recorded our plays? What would happen? Would they still have that immediacy, that intimacy, that engagement? Would people still be able to connect with the stories being told? And so we recorded a few of our stories and plays. We shared them for family and friends, and people loved them. And what we also found was that they reminded us of the radio plays that we used to listen to. I say we, I had no idea what the GeriActors were talking about, but they, you know, the War of the Worlds, the Bickersons, the stories that they used to listen to on CBC radio. So all of this new technology reminded us of something that we used to do in our childhood. So this inspired our new program, Audio Jerry's, and we spent the last year adapting and recording some of our original stage plays with the help of a producer, a sound designer, an audio technician, and we've incorporated sound effects and original music. And what we found is that our stories came to life in a new way. And we are able to reach out to more audiences with our work and connect with people outside of Edmonton who maybe can't see a performance live. So to date, I'm just going to share a little bit more about the audio plays that we have available, because outside of today, they are available on our website, and we love to host the listening sessions as well. Currently, we have 2 audio plays available. We have a play called Way Back, which we shared last year at the Health and Wellness Forum. And this is a great collection of true stories. So we've really sold it as a kaleidoscope of stories growing up during World War II, farm life in Alberta, Sri Lanka, birth, motherhood, just remembering those moments of joy, hardship, and triumph that we all experience. And the stories are really centered on moments of history that really impacted our lives. And then today we're going to listen to our newest play, Reading the Signs. And this play was inspired by all of our members' experiences with driving and with giving up their license. So it's a very pertinent play for our members, and we find that our audiences really resonate with it. And then Spinning the Bottle and We Decide, based on King Lear. Those 2 are coming in 2023. Spinning the Bottle features stories of coming out from 1960 to today. And then We Decide, which we're actually recording right now, is based on King Lear. So we have a mixture of Shakespeare's text with our own stories. And that show is about maintaining agency in later life and wanting to choose how we live and choose how our families care for us. So those 2 plays are coming in early 2023. So at the end of this project that we're working on, we'll have 4 plays to share with people. And we're really excited about that. If anyone is interested in listening to our plays, we just wanted to share a little bit about how you can do that. So we'll hear Reading the Signs today, but if you say, oh gosh, I want to share this with someone in my life, you can do this in 2 ways. You can go to the online shop that's available on our website at www.GeriActors.ca. And all of our audio plays are available to listen there. It's a name your price system. So you can say $0 to $1,000, whatever you want to put in. You get to name your price, and then you get access to listen to the audio play of your choosing for 30 days through our website. And then we really love connecting with audiences, as I mentioned. So you can also host a listening session. And we find that that's a really unique way to connect with a community, maybe members, residents, people in your life. So we host the event on Zoom, and we invite people to come in. They get to listen to a radio play, and then they get to discuss the play. And we ask people to share their stories as well, if they would like, to engage people. And that is available to anyone else, anywhere in Canada. So you don't have to be in the Edmonton area, you can be anywhere. And if you're interested in a listening session, you can also find more information on our website as well. And I just wanted to show everyone just a little bit more about where to find our online shop. So if you go to our website, GeriActors.ca, you're going to look along the top menu bar here, and you're going to look for that shop on the top of our menu bar, just on the right-hand side. And if you click shop, you'll be taken to our catalog of audio plays. We have 2, as I mentioned, and then you're just going to go down and you're going to click learn more, and that will take you on to the purchase page. And as I mentioned, once you're on the purchase page, you get to name your price. So you can put $0, you can put 10, 20, whatever you want, and then add it to cart, and that will start your purchase through our website, and that will give you access to the play for 30 days. All right. So before we get on to the play, are there any questions about Audio Jerry's or Reading the Signs or anything like that? Just going to open the Q&A box, and just in case there's any questions.
Might take a minute for folks if they have questions to type them in. So
Oh, of course.
you just hang on for a few seconds, and if not, we can carry on.
All right. Well, if any questions pop up, just type them in the Q&A box, and we will have time at the end as well. So we're going to get on to the play. So what I like to say is that you want to be comfortable for this. It's going to be about 15 minutes, but grab a coffee, tea, find a comfy place to sit. You won't see anything because it is an audio play, so you'll just see the slides on the screen, but feel free to close your eyes. If you want, you'll hear music, sound effects, and the story. You can imagine what you cannot see. And at the end of the play, we're going to have a chat, share some stories, and answer any questions. All right. Are we ready? I am just going to set up the sound, and I will see everyone in 15 minutes.
The intergenerational theatre company GeriActors and Friends present their original play, Reading the Signs, written by David Barnett and members of the company.
We love to talk about our cars.
My favorite car was a BMW. Now I drive a Toyota.
I loved my Peugeot 504 because I could sit so high.
I learned to drive in a 1956 blue truck. On the farm, all 10-year-olds drive.
My little red Volkswagen was so cold in the wintertime I wore ski mitts.
My niece was born in the back of that 1956 truck in a bale of hay.
To love your car nowadays, it has to have satellite radio, cruise control, heated seats, air conditioning, and a rear view camera.
This is the story of my husband, Jack. Today, we're at the doctor's. Jack needs to take a test to find out if he can keep driving.
Doc, I was the first one in my family and on my block to have a license, and I'm not giving it up.
Jack, I'll have your results in a moment.
Kathy, I'm only taking the test because I have to. I'm going to pass with flying colors. A man with a car is king. A man must always drive. Women don't need to drive.
Jack, you're my husband and I love you, but that's baloney. After we're done here, we'll go to Costco. It'll be okay. It won't be too busy.
All my friends are like, Bob and John are in their 80s and they're fast.
Congratulations, Jack. This is a very high score.
As if there was any doubt.
Top 10 percentile. I wish all my patients were like you. You can certainly keep driving.
Thank you. I told you. See you later, Doc. We're going shopping and I am driving.
So, off to Costco.
I hate Costco.
That's too bad, dear.
The doc said I had one of the highest scores ever.
I heard, but that's not what I wanted to hear. You're not a bad driver, Jack, but you don't always see everything you need to see.
I am a good driver. I haven't had an accident in 40 years.
Well, there was that rock you scraped in the parking lot.
Well, who puts rocks in a parking lot and calls it art? Besides, everybody scrapes things in parking lots, don't they?
No. Costco will be quick. Then we can get coffee.
Hey, watch it! That's a stop sign, stupid!
Did you see that?
Of course I did. Let's get going.
Jack, stop!
Hey, watch where you're going!
Did you see that bicycle?
Of course, I see everything. I even read the road signs.
No, you don't.
Not all of us. Not every time.
Stop.
Yield.
Crosswalk.
No stopping.
School zone 30 kilometers.
Since when have school zones been 30K? Stop! Where's that sound coming from? I don't see anything, Kathy. Do you?
Yes, look, it's a fire truck. This is the next part of the story of my husband, Jack. The first crunch came in Jasper. When we go to the mountains, we always rent. We don't trust our old Toyota.
Welcome to rent a car of your dreams, where all upgrades are free.
The rental agent had a deal for us.
If you're going to Jasper, you really like this. Air-cooled seats, you're high up, and a rear-view camera.
Kathy, you should sit here. It is so roomy.
Excuse me, we requested an intermediate, not an SUV.
You'll love it. It's our best rental.
Jack, it's a lot bigger than our car.
It'll be fun.
You don't have to pay the upgrade. Just sign here, and here, and here, and here, and here.
Jack, I'll get the extra insurance.
No, good drivers don't need insurance.
We take Highway 16. It is nice being up this high. We pass by familiar towns.
Ensign.
Entwistle.
Hinton.
Coffee and a bathroom break.
Oh, Jack, look!
What? Look where? What is it?
The sign! Welcome to Jasper!
Oh, I've already seen that.
We hiked all afternoon and did some serious sightseeing.
Maline Canyon.
Mount Edith Cabell.
Hikers. Elk wandering down Main Street.
Crowded parking lot.
Mountain bikes. Lots of mountain bikes.
That was a good hike. 10,000 steps.
I like coming to the mountains.
This rear view camera is sweet. What was that?
I don't know.
I don't see anything. Let's go.
Hey, you!
Hey, you, stop. Where do you think you're going?
You're going.
What happened?
You ran over my bike.
It's smashed. That's $1,500.
The frame's cracked. You can't repair that. It's your fault.
You'll have to pay.
You could have hit a child.
Jack, we ran over that mountain bike lying in the middle of the road.
I didn't see it.
It'll be all right. Nobody's hurt. Show her your insurance. I'll take some photos.
You need the driver's test.
You won't pass it. And you won't drive anymore.
You could have hit a child.
Let's leave. It's because this SUV is so big.
The insurance company will deal with it. It's only a bike.
Yes, it's only a bike.
Are you okay to drive?
Of course I am. I'm fine.
Running away, are you?
Running away, are you? You coward.
Chicken.
In the next part of the story, it wasn't just a bike. 3 months later, at the Kids and Rec Center, we were driving our old car. Well, Jack was driving. We were going home. As always, there were lots of signs and lots of things to look out for.
One way.
Yield.
No parking.
No stopping.
Crosswalk.
A mother crosses the crosswalk.
I see the woman on the crosswalk. I slow down, then start driving again.
Come on, Lizzie. Mommy's waiting.
I'm coming, Mommy.
Lizzie. Oh, Lizzie, are you all right?
Mommy, I'm fine. Nothing happened.
Lizzie, that car almost hit you. You could have killed my daughter.
Come on, Mommy. Let's go home.
I didn't see her.
Why don't you park over there? We can talk about it.
If that mother hadn't turned around, I wouldn't have seen the child.
Would you like me to drive?
Well, I don't know. You mean just drive home, right?
No, I mean drive from now on, instead of you.
But nothing happened.
Better to stop now.
But the doctor said top 10%
You don't see everything, and your reactions are slow.
What, I stopped driving just like that?
Yeah,
Right now, I should just stop.
Well,
But you'll have to do it all. You don't like driving. I'll do the shopping on my bike.
no, you won't.
Oh, this is premature. I can keep going like Bob and John till I'm 80s.
But this is a good time before something happens.
Nothing will happen.
Who else have you not seen?
I was on the crosswalk and you didn't see me.
I had a mountain bike that you didn't see.
I walk with a cane. Will you see me?
If my daughter is late for school, running with her backpack, will you see her?
That's it. It's over. But I'm not an old man. I'm 77, for God's sakes. There are places I haven't been and things I haven't done. Am I going to stay home and read the newspaper in my slippers? How will I know when my world is shrinking or shrunk, when I'm so bubble wrapped for safety that it's too late to break out? What risk can I take?
Not with my child, you can't. You can't take risks with my child.
Does this mean goodbye, car?
Car of your youth.
Car of your dreams?
Car of your children.
Car of your marriage. Car for keeping the peace.
Car for driving across the prairies?
Finding small towns.
Convertible and 4 on the floor.
Driving in the sunshine north of Lake Superior?
Just as they are inventing rear-view cameras, warning buzzers for changing lanes, and self-driving car, I have to give up driving. A car is freedom. A car is independence. A car is an extension of your personality. Without it, you are diminished. I am not giving in to being old.
You're not giving in. You're making a choice. It was the best decision I ever made. It was October 2006. I was driving on Millwoods Road.
It was a rainy night.
There was a stop sign.
Another car.
Fire hydrant.
And a dog.
And a policeman.
I couldn't see. I went through the stop sign. I hit the car. There were 2 children in that car. They were all right. I hit the fire hydrant. We all got wet. I didn't hit the dog. I gave up my keys and my license. Better to choose than to have no choice.
Right, enough is enough. Kathy, take my keys.
This is the last part of Jack's story. It's been a whole year since he made this promise.
I will not drive anymore. It's a newspaper and Netflix for me now.
And he hasn't driven. I have. He uses Uber and the bus. Last summer, he cycled. I wish I could tell you that Jack's happy about the change.
But I'm not. It's been a whole year not driving, and I resent every minute of it.
I admit it. Sometimes it seems like everything is different.
I can't do this and I can't do that.
I do the shopping. Safeway, Shoppers, Home Depot. I hate Home Depot. I get the car repaired and take our dog for her shots.
I have to ask her to drive me places.
And he wants me to pick him up.
Why should I have to wait for bus stops?
But he walks more, and that's okay.
The freedom is gone, and that is not okay.
I can't have a drink at a restaurant. And if he once again says he has a better route, I'll scream.
I did all the driving. If she needed a ride, she could always count on me.
I'll tell you what, Jack. Now that I'm doing the driving, we're getting a new car. And you could try hitchhiking.
It's not funny. It's like you're laughing at old age, and I can't do that.
Oh, Jack, you have to read the signs. They're all around us.
What signs?
That you are officially old. We both are. And we'd better get used to it.
I don't know if I can.
Oh, you can. We both can. I know that for sure.
How do you know?
Because we're doing it together. And together we can do just about everything.
Everything except drive my car.
Okay, everything except that. Let's go get a coffee.
Oh, great. I'll drive.
Jack.
Ah, just kidding, Kathy. It's a little joke. Oh, before I forget, we need to get more dog food.
Not we, me.
This production of Reading the Signs was produced as part of GeriActors Audio Jerry's program. The performers were Carlene Fisher, John Grutelar, Diane Johnson, Pat Parkinson, Chips Reed, and Ronnie Wickrama-Segura.
This audio production was produced by Kim McCaw, with acting coach David Barnett, audio technician Josh Glodz, production assistant Aaron Hayes, and original music by Dave Clark.
The GeriActors Associate Director is Becca Barrington, and the Artistic Director is David Barnett.
We acknowledge the support of the Canada Council for the Arts, the Edmonton Arts Council, and the Alberta Foundation for the Arts. The original stage version of Reading the Signs was developed with the support of Age Friendly Edmonton. For further information about GeriActors and our Audio Geries program, visit our website at geriactors.ca. All right, and that is the show. So as was mentioned, feel free to add any questions or comments in the Q&A. And we will be monitoring the Q&A section and answering any questions. And then I also have some questions for you. So feel free to put anything in the Q&A and we will keep an eye on it.
So just for folks who are joining us by phone, the questions that are on the screen are: what images come to mind? What did you see? And what did you feel?
All right, and feel free just to put in even one word, what images come to mind? Was it the dog, the fire hydrant, the bike, the driving in the mountains in Jasper? What did you see in your mind's eye when you were listening to the play? Any words that come to mind, feel free to type them in the Q&A. All right, and then the other questions that we always love to ask is, what stayed with you? What do you remember? And then if you could add a story, or could you tell us what our stories reminded you of? So take all of those questions and feel free to add anything into the Q&A. So what did you see? What did you feel? What images came to mind when you were listening? What stayed with you, or what do you remember? And if you could add anything, any story, any memory, what would you add to our play? Oh, perfect. So Helen said it can't be easy for many to give up something which contributes to the feeling of independence. Absolutely. I think the Jack character really talks about that, and even the Kathy character. What happens when you have to give something up that contributes to not only your independence, but Kathy's independence, because now Jack can't drive something that he loves. And then Kathy has to take on all of the additional work that maybe Jack would have done. I think that's something that many people can relate to. Driving contributes to your independence, but there's so many other things that contribute to your independence. And how do you make that choice to give one of those things up? And then someone said, I could see the fire truck. Oh yes, there's always that moment of panic. I think just anytime you're on the road, when you hear a fire truck and you go, I don't know where that's coming from. And that stress of trying to get out of the way and navigate and figure out where it's coming from and slow down, all of those things, absolutely. anything else that you remember, anything that came to mind, any questions that you have about the play or the Audio Jerry's program?
Actually, if we wait for people to enter in, I'm curious about the sessions that you host, the Zoom sessions. Have you hosted any? Can you tell us a little bit about what that looks and feels like?
Yeah, we've hosted a few. We haven't hosted one for Reading the Signs just yet, but we've hosted a few for our Way Back play. And what they look like is they're hosted on Zoom, but we use, instead of Zoom webinar, we use just the regular Zoom system so that people, so that we can invite people to participate in a few online activities just to sort of break the ice. Welcome people into this discussion process so people can share stories. They can ask questions, they can discuss the play with one another. So it's essentially like a forum that we create where people can talk about the play that they just heard. So it's hosted on Zoom. We do all of the tech, so you don't have to worry about anything. You just have to click the link and log on. And then we play the play just like we did today. And then we ask questions and we have a discussion about the play. So you never have to share a personal story. There's lots of other ways to engage. We ask people, similar questions to this. What images come to mind? Were there any feelings that came up? Any memories or stories that you would like to share? And then it just creates this dialogue about the play. Yeah. Any other questions about the listening session? So one of the comments that came up in the Q&A is, it is a wonderful example for anyone to stop driving by choosing a different way, not to hurt others. I think absolutely. I think that was the sort of breaking point for Jack, was to say, you know what, this could have been worse. It wasn't just a bike. I don't want to do something that's going to put other people at risk. I think was the key to Jack making that decision. Absolutely. Any other thoughts that came up or any other questions that people have? We're just running with a few minutes left, so I want to make sure we get everyone's questions answered before we are finished.
I was surprised by how funny it was. It was really quite witty. It was impressive.
Yes, that's something that GeriActors really takes to heart. We find that laughter and humor and all of those things really contribute to us being able to talk about difficult subjects. This is a very difficult thing to talk about: losing independence, giving up something that you love, aging. And so being able to do it with humor, with people playing the signs or playing the parts of Jasper and bringing inanimate objects to life, or bringing thoughts to life, or poking, bringing a little bit of extra joy into those difficult subjects, we find is quite important when we're developing plays, because these are trickier topics to talk about. And so being able to smile and laugh about them, even though they are harder, gives us sort of an entry point into them. All right, so Shalane says, I felt a deeper understanding of what my dad might have experienced when he had to stop driving. Well, that's a great comment. Yes, absolutely. I think that's what the hope is with this play, is that not only are we, presenting a reality, the GeriActors are presenting their reality of what they're going through right now and making these decisions for themselves, or maybe making these decisions in their families. But the students that we work with can also get a sense of, how it might feel for an older person or an older adult to make that choice. And so we really create our hope is that we create these conversations and these dialogue and this, shared understanding of these experiences. And then a person needs a good support system, as this would be very traumatic, especially for males. That's very interesting. That's something that we talked about a lot in terms of this play was, is it harder for men to give up driving than women? I don't have an answer for you, but particularly in the discussions, a lot of the men in our company, I think, see driving as something that they do, that is like men do it. I don't have a good answer, but it is definitely important to have a good support system. And I think, the Jack character having Kathy to take on a lot of that extra driving, maybe have family members who can drive around, or even just the support system of the tech that we have, Drive Happiness, Uber, taxis, all of that stuff can help support and get people to where they need to go. And then Donna says, as a person who is blind, I felt great sympathy for Jack in his loss of independence, but that was overpowered by my sense of vulnerability, even fear, because I am so dependent on the skills of drivers as I try to maintain my own independence and safety as a pedestrian. Oh, absolutely. That is a great comment. Relying on other people to keep you safe, trusting that the people driving are skilled to do that or paying attention and all of that. Absolutely. Just looking, are there any other questions? Thank you, Donna, for that beautiful comment. Any other questions before we wrap up?
Looks like we might be done for the day. That was so great, Becca. Thank you very much.
Oh, not a problem. So I'm just going to put up on our screen. Oh, we have one last comment. My vehicle was hit by an 80-year-old male, but I was not injured. It's hard to settle in person instead of off with car insurance companies. As some of my friends said, if I settle in person, then in the future it may cause that senior gentleman to get killed, or others will be killed too. Therefore, after listening to this play, I don't feel guilty that I let the doctor decide that senior cannot drive or not. Well, that's a very interesting comment, paying attention to experts and absolutely, settling it with insurance or presenting it to doctors to make that choice with their patients as well. That's always tricky. All right, I'm just going to put up on the screen any of our contact information. So if you're interested in learning more about Audio Gerries or GeriActors, as I mentioned, our website is GeriActors.ca, or our email is GeriActors.friends@gmail.com. That is GeriActors.friends@gmail.com for those of us joining over the phone. And we would love to hear from you. So thank you so much for sharing your energy and stories and comments with us today. And we will see everyone soon and have a great rest of the day.
That's great. Thank you so much for joining us, Becca.